Josh Novak, we have it. We have evolution in the Briles system. We have tights, we have motions, we have bunches, we have stacks, we have new pass concepts. Okay, the things that I think people have been looking for in this system have finally, at least in this game, one game, have come to fruition. So I don't know anything about Syracuse defense. I don't know much about Tennessee's personnel. This is purely schematic, 24, 25 plays, kind of looking at what has changed. My mind, if I had to go coordinate tomorrow, I never thought base splits would be something like base receiver splits is something I was interested in. I'd be like 70-30, 70 tight, compressed motions bunch, 30% the Briles wide stuff. Because I think it's still really, really good for clear double calls, run pass, whatever. I think there's still a place for it, but I think you need more, right? You need a way to get people off you and to create actual some sort of flood concept. So that happens this game. Some really cool stuff. Really excited to see where this kind of offense goes because the run game's always been great. They have tons of volume, tons of beaters. They understand the run game really, really well in this system. The pass game, I think, has really fallen behind. That kind of changed yesterday. So it'd be really cool to kind of see how this thing goes throughout the year. So 24, 25 plays, really on both sides of the ball, kind of how Syracuse then tried to defend it as it went and stuff like that. So kind of the first series is all in order. This is not some sort of fancy presentation with stats. Okay, this is just like I pulled them the clips in order I want to talk about. First or maybe second play of the game, right? We have motion. We have this tight split from the receiver. We're even tighter up top than we normally are. Okay, it's almost like a base split for most people. Okay, we have guard pull. And we have a quick little, white cross with the outside receiver. Okay, but we have some sort of flood concept, right? We have post over, and then probably the back would be out in the flat. So even something like this, okay, we have not really seen much of this even in the system. Okay, it's been mostly deep choice. Hopefully, we win. If we don't win, it's a big incompletion. Tons of gap schemes this game. Because of that, right, you have whatever you want to call this protection, like trap pass, the tight end backside. Okay, should be really, really solid. I haven't really talked about this a ton. Okay, but these protections do grade out much better than drop back stuff, obviously. Guard pull. I'll have more videos on the guard pull protections and kind of where the holes are uh, going forward. Okay, this is kind of like a quick little overview of what they did this game, what is different than every other game I've seen. Same thing up top, right? We have a tight bunch. We're an 11P tight bunch. We have outside zone. We saw more true outside zone this game than we've seen in the past. Now, it will have to evolve because it's all from pistol, right? Why people think outside zone is, I guess somebody said it 50 years ago and it's kind of stuck. Outside zone's way better from pistol and all that kind of stuff under center. These guys only ran outside zone from pistol this game, so something they'd have to evolve to. I think in shotgun you can easily run it with how tight their back is, like same side. Outside zone would be perfectly fine with these guys because once again their back is really, really tight to the quarterback. Now, talking about this bubble up top, if this is not as good from the view, if this is a true, right, so bubble by one. If this is a true combo by the tight end and the point guy to, you know, the guy on top of the point and to support, good on them. If they're truly comboing this thing and getting it done this well, that is a freaking great job. If it just is it supposed to be, I see most people kind of pin it and pull it, um, but that's not great because that guy kind of looks like a thicker linebacker. That's more of a receiver. So not what you want here to pin and pull it. Now, if these guys are truly sorting it out 2 for 2, like an outside zone combo and getting this done this well, good on them. Good on this staff. Okay, because this is a great job. Easy, quick 8-yard completion. Thought the QB looked really, really good. I didn't watch it. I don't think a down of him at App State. I thought he looked really, really good this game. So like I said, more outside zone, true outside zone we've seen in the past. We'll get a little bit about this. Is that him? Somebody know better. If that's the freakazoid left tackle freshman. Whoever that guy is played outstanding this game, this left tackle. So same thing here. Okay, we call it sickle. This protection is the single greatest protection when it comes to actual grading it out in my NFL library so far, and then what we did at UNC. Even here, right? I've not seen them run sail in the past. We are FIB, so it gets you your quasi compressed. We have a new protection we haven't seen before. Okay, and we have sail. Now, don't love it against inside leverage quarters by the corner, okay, but they run it, and it's just cool to see an evolution, okay, and creating 3 levels, which I've talked about a million times. However you want to create 3 levels in the defense, they are your single best pass routes across the board. High school, college football, NFL, how can I create three? They create three with the back, the slot, and the outside guy. 3 layers, your best stuff. Talking about the protection here. Now, we do have issues in the protection. And once again, I talk about all this stuff more in different videos where I actually talk about the details of this protection, right? But guards should be on edge pressure. Right? Essentially, I know I'm different than most. This is all full slide. People teach it like man. I would not teach it like full slide. We're just pulling this guy so everybody's bumping over a gap. I got my gap to my right, 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 and now I'm pulling, checking the crease. Meaning this guy spikes out. I have now this, depending on how you teach this guy, okay, because you can man it up there. I am fitting the crease off the tight end. I'm helping the tight end if there's no edge pressure. My first thing though is I have edge pressure, so guard should be on this guy coming. That's why we get a wounded duck throw. We get 15-yard PI. Don't know why they're running the post by number 1 to the field here. It crowds it. He should just be on a Briles hangout route or whatever you want to do, a solo route, right? I have my 3 levels created. I don't need that guy to be a part of the concept. The receiver to my left here. What do we have here, okay? We start in a basic formation, okay, and we shift in. Would like the shift operation to happen a little bit faster, okay? But we have something new. We have our same bubble concept earlier with counter. Now, this is a gap scheme clinic this game. These guys have always been great at gap schemes. Zone, not so much. Gap schemes, they have all of them, okay? This is a simple counter. Nothing big here. Blocked pretty standard. Get up to the safety. We have a bunch. We have a bunch with a new middle screen. Why is this middle screen so good? Okay, so it's obvious man. Obvious man, obvious bear. We know who has the back. This end player has the back. Okay, so what is he thinking? Probably rail. Rail is the most dangerous thing for this edge player one-on-one with the running back. So you show rail, you get him running. He takes off. He hauls ass out of there. Then you come back on the middle screen. There's nothing left back inside. Okay, great play call. Don't know if it was a double call against man. It is a fantastic man play, though, against bear defense. You know who the edge guy is looking to take off? He says, oh, shit, here comes rail, here comes pick, here comes something like that. And then you come back underneath it with the middle screen. Get all the way up to the post safety. There is not a better call right here against this defense. Right, so I've been kind of critical on this offense in the past, okay? Like, it hasn't really been game planned that much to me. Either they lucked into a lot of these calls or Heupel has changed his ways, because this was a great game plan, great calling, all that sort of stuff. We heard in the offseason how they're going to have answers, blah, 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 the same shit every coach says, how different the offense will be. This offense looked drastically different to me. Just want to show, we hit this, they hit it, I don't know why I don't have a thing to do with this. They hit this concept later. Not my favorite. I know it's kind of like the rage, right? Is the pin, pull, running back swing. It averages like 5 yards of play. Like, I know people have been tweeting about it and whatever, but writing books about it. But it's not actually that great. It's like 5.3 yards of play. There's a really good clip of it later. They just take the hitch and looks like me trying to catch the ball right there. These guys have always had a really nice 12 personnel package to me. This is normal splits, right? So I don't know top of my head. These guys were probably 70-30 wide splits to tighter splits, maybe 60-40. But just that it was closer to 50-50, I think is a big improvement. I'm just not just sitting out here in wide personnel or 11 personnel, standard formation, stagnant, and hoping your guys are better. I think these guys had a great plan. Obviously, 12 personnel. These guys have all the runs out of 12P this set. They have the gap schemes both ways. They have the zones, the zone inserts. Even in the past, I thought these guys have done a great job in this set. Fantastic job at tight end. Okay, you have some sort of zone insert play here to the right. Tight end of quote unquote swabbing. I don't know why it's called swabbing. Swabbing the hole, swabbing the C gap on the way to his linebacker. That's a freaking clinic tape of that. Left shoulder under, kick him back out. Okay, the linebacker will then spill himself, expecting that ball to be spilled out. Linebacker now will play the C, and there's nobody back in the B gap. You put 2 in the C, you're back on the 2 safeties. Bunch again. Trap pro with the tight end backside like this, okay? Because you can take edge pressure now. You can stay solid in the box. Okay, we have try and create 3 layers again. Now, what I would do is a little bit different. I think than most. Most people go with however they run the over, post, dig, right? So kind of, I talked about this, that video. UT made some good hay on this. I would do all the same. So post or whatever you want to do with number 1. Post, storm, pylon, whatever. You can get the back out. I like number 2 on like a pretty traditional like Y cross, like shallow crosser. And then 3 is back on like the deep over. Right, so you'll clear out this defender. Either the cross will be open or it won't. You'll clear the 3-up defender out and cover 3. He'll run with it, right? And then you have the deep over right behind it. Instead of having the dig over here, you get everything lined up in the quarterback's vision. Wouldn't have worked out either way, right? Based off this guy's reaction. But the idea is to clear this guy out and then bring everything in right behind it. Kind of like they're doing here, it just takes too long with the dig route. Okay, so just an idea. I'll have a video of that coming up here. There's some good clips from like the Seahawks. Even I don't know, like Dan Casey tweeted about it with the Vikings cover 3 beater. It'd be much cleaner, right, if he just kept going on the cross and he ran the over instead of him sitting like 10 yards and then this thing crowding it. All right, so I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but just kind of what's going on in my head. Same thing, right? We're full sliding this thing, in my mind, not how they're doing it. We're full sliding everybody over. Right, we're just kicking the guard back over. So full slide still, we're just kicking over everybody over a spot. Really easy protection. Picks up a lot of the interior twists. There are C-gap issues. Okay, but that can be solved with the running back. Got bunch again. Okay, but we go from bunch to kind of like a normal formation. So this is my favorite. If I have one favorite Y off or 11 personnel formation, it's this. Stacking the 2 guys to the field. Why? Because I still like the idea of a wide alley. Really clears up who's in the box, who's out of the box. So I get my wide alley for the double call perspective and support and all that kind of stuff. Defensive identification is easier. But then I also get the benefit of stacking 2 receivers. Right? So a lot of times I get off coverage or I get a free release, at least for one of these guys. So I get that and I get my wide alley. So it's kind of the best of both worlds to me. Now, I don't like stacking directly behind, right? I like the NFL style is a little bit easier. So if one gets jammed, it's not a big deal. Kind of like 1-by-1 offset would be a little bit better. But at least we're trying. We're getting stacks. We're getting people free releases. Okay, and then, whew, that's a brutal clip. That is a brutal clip of receiver play. Same thing. You like them to be a little bit more vertical here, not running post safety. Should be a 75-yard touchdown. But that's what it is. That's why I insert here. 75 is a saboteur. We have nobody blocking edge pressure, but same thing. They're trying to swab out the hole. This is kind of be up to you if you want to swab it out or if you want him to keep wrapping and find the linebacker. I think both have their advantages, obviously. Like I said, these guys are still, like, they're not completely abandoning what's made them good. They still have splits, right? We have a really clean 5-box. We're going to play off this guy now. Really easy declaration for the box. Everybody knows who we're blocking. Really clean up to the second level here on Dart. So I think there's still a really, really nice place for this offense, okay? For this style, right? I like it for double calls. I have run called, whatever the run. Let's say it's Dart. Okay, I have Dart. As soon as it's 6-box, I have some sort of 6-box pass on. And QB, when we install double calls at UNC, we always start with wide splits because it's really, really easy, 6 or 7 in the box, man or zone. You can't disguise in these splits, right? So we started from there because it's really, really easy declaration for both the center, whoever's IDing in the run game, and for the quarterback for double calls, right? So I think there's still a great place for splits in this world. Right, to me, it's just like a 30% of the time answer. Like I said, these guys have all the darts, all the wraps, all the counters, all the, these guys have it all. And they're really good at all of them. Just 53 on the 4-eye. Yeah, that's a grown man block. Whoever 53 is, is a hellacious football player. You'll see him pull here in a little bit, blocking a 4-eye, all that sort of thing. So this is cool to see. I must have deleted it. So they had one earlier. I think it was a 12P play. Okay, he's had like 20-yard outs. Ignore him. 20-yard outs by number ones, okay, which is like stealing against zone because everybody in this offense knows, we'll see a little bit later too, it's either basically a 12 to 10-yard stop or it's vertical. So now we're kind of putting something in that intermediate range, right? So the corner is used to like, oh, if this thing is still vertical by 12, just haul ass because he's going to the top. Now we're putting things kind of in that intermediate range, that 15, 18, 20-yard range here. Same thing. We just have like an 18-yard hook by the slot. Same thing. In the past world, as soon as Tennessee's slot went past 10 yards vertically, he's going to keep going vertically. Right? There was no shutdown at 15, 18 yards. Now we are getting that. Okay, so now we're just adding another layer to this offense. Also, new protection. Okay, there's two things that kind of stick out when I did my protections, right? Outside zone, like whatever you want to call this, outside zone inserts, outside zone seals, outside zone setting up in the pockets, reign supreme, and the guard pull stuff I was talking about earlier. Kind of reign supreme when you talk about actually creating a really nice pocket and holding up in protection. So these guys are kind of doing, they're combining two really, really nice things here. We have new intermediate routes from all these receivers. Okay, we have a new protection. Look at this freaking pocket. This is like Kansas style, right? If you get 5 yards of separation between whoever the deepest guy is of the line, here's the tight end, and the quarterback, you will win. That's Skelly now, right? So I'm really big on wide, shallow pockets for that reason. Other reasons I'll talk about in different videos. Okay, but you win. So we have a really nice new protection off outside zone, and we have really nice new concepts down the field. Like I said, I must have deleted earlier, but they have a really easy 20-yard completion they threw to the outside receiver out of 12P. The corner just bails like they're doing here, and boom, it's a cheap, easy 20-yard throw. For your high school guy, maybe it's 15 yards. I don't know. That is a hellacious job by the tight end, holding up an insert. This is chill protection, right? So, where am I different? UNC, NFL, everywhere I've seen, it's basically like man. Okay, so we're I think he's out. Oh, is the tight end out here? No, tight end staying in. Okay. So everybody basically teaches this side similar. This will be a little bit different, but let's talk about the backside. Okay, so UNC, NFL, everywhere I've been, you're basically man and you are man. Now, it's never made sense to me for this reason, right? Why not treat it like true full slide or just pulling this guy, right? So now UNC would be picking up the same way. So RB would be on linebacker, which makes no sense, right? Because what are we doing? If we're playing a defense that's worth a shit and understands football, if I'm pressuring one of these guys, whoever's coming backside, he's crossing face. Okay, so he's running right back into my guard. I don't have to then carry that thing back and then waste my running back one-on-one on linebacker. The center can let it pass. Okay, now we can pick this up and it'll be a much easier pickup. Now I don't know what they're trying to do. They're trying to do like the tight end leak out of the backfield here. Doesn't matter. Running back leak out of the backfield, possibly. Yeah, okay. So they're trying to do the Sarkisian play, right? The running back wheel, tight end, slow release, that whole thing. So this should be, I don't know if he panics when he sees it. This should be picked up by the center, to me. That's not how anybody else blocks it. But to me, that's how it should be blocked. There's no reason to carry the nose tackle back to a guard and double team a freaking nose tackle slanting to a 1. Like, that's a waste. And then have a running back have to pick up a linebacker or have to throw off him on this play. Okay, so that's just my little rant. There's still elements of it, okay? So what makes, we're in 12P. We still have the deep choice world. Okay, they're just not relying on it. It's just they're doing it, I don't know if they called it 5 times this game instead of 15 times and having Nico blah, 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 throw an incompletion 14 of them. Look how high that ball is. That's awesome. Great throw. All right, so those elements are still there. Great protection. 12P world. Great 12P world they have. What do we got here? I forgot what I put on this thing. Zone insert. I'm not quite sure. That might be a basic or 5 for 5. Yeah, I don't know why this is on here. Just a base zone insert. Later in the game, they start hammering. Like if you playing these guys, you better have something in the C gap to the nub side. Okay, especially in any sort of 12 feet, because they're going to run counter to the nub. It will be a down, 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 right? And then some version of counter GT, something, right? So if you're playing Tennessee, you're playing this offense, you better have somebody who can hold up in the C gap and on with the tight end. Okay, if not, right, we'll see possibly some 4-eye examples, right? Where there's nothing in the C gap, and this guy climbs, seals it, and it's just game over for the defense. Right, so these guys have a really nice running back to the nub package. I don't know who 87 is, but he blocked his ass off this game. So in some sort of bear choke, right? This guy does not look very big. I think you need something big. Slant the 4-eye to the C. Put an actual 5 tech in the C gap. Put something that can hold up in the C gap against these guys, or else you'll just get freaking abused. There's probably 10 to 12 of these countervations back to the nub side, making corners and safeties hold up, and they just did not hold up this game. Yeah, you can't do this, right? So we have motion to the nub side. You absolutely cannot have nothing in the C gap, right? If there's a hierarchy, put something big in the C gap, put something in the C gap. If you're going to bear choke it, a safety. Worst case scenarios have nothing in the C gap and allow this to happen. A free climb to seal it, kick out, and now we're climbing and putting a safety one-on-one with nothing behind him. These are always my favorite runs of the game, playing K open C gap teams like this. Like shit, we can seal this thing off, right? The whole thing of a gap scheme to seal it one way, to kick it the other, and then lead up with the final piece. Where if it's the GT, if it's the puller in motion here, whoever that is, can't do that. And then right tackle just manhandles a 4-eye. Got 75 is freaking huge. Let's go. A poly. Okay, so this is actually really good too. So it looks like deep choice. I don't know if right if this is a different call, but I talked about deep choice in the past, and the issue with how they were doing it earlier is they were so freaking shallow on the stops. You'd have Brew McCoy like catching the ball back at like 5 yards, right? You are working really, really hard offensively to throw essentially a 5-yard hitch. Look at these depths, much cleaner, much deeper. Allows the quarterback to actually scan at both sides, right? 12, almost at 17 yards, which is fine. Now I can rip back down to the stem, and instead of catching the ball at 5 yards, I'm catching it here at 12 or whatever it is. This times up so much better than how they were doing it in the past. So I don't know if it's a different DC call or they said, hey, why are we catching these stop routes at 10 yards or at 5 yards? You can see both sides, right? They're getting what to 17. They're at the 23. Yeah, they're both at 17, 18-ish yards, okay? Push the depth deeper than you think on DC, okay? And have them still run back out. Great stuff, right? Maybe these guys are watching, maybe these guys are one of my 15 viewers, okay, and actually saw a video. So here's the one that pops, right? So this is really good. Like I said, not like a huge fan of these. You watch like UT do them, and they look really good, but the issue is the running back's catching the ball 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So what you think is a 10-yard gain is actually like a 5-yard gain. Okay, just not super productive. But this is a great example of it. Okay, we're going to leave one for the wrapper. So we're leaving one. We're pinning 2. We're pinning 3. Okay, with the swing route. Reason I also don't like this play is it's also not very good against man. Or good at all against man, right? Because you're going to leave an extra guy out there. Here they bust it, right? They're running something, but I don't know what the hell they're running. Okay, we're bringing 6, not popping anybody out and all that kind of thing. So, not sure what they're doing defensively, okay, but they're super short on the perimeter, which helps this play. Bad job by the tight end. Bad job by the running back with the ball. Okay, in open field, you want to track the outside hip. Okay, and then make the cut off the outside hip. Okay, so close the space, cut off the outside hip. Open field running one-on-one. Okay, really good example of it here. All right, trying to run outside zone from pistol. Like I said earlier, they're going to have to develop more of a pistol package, right? Because the only thing they have so far is outside zone and outside zone play action. Okay, why they can't run this? Like NC State, I don't know where that coordinator is now. NC State used to be really good at running it same side outside zone. Okay, he would just scissor step and take the handoff that way. I don't know why these guys aren't doing it like that. Okay, well, basically how tight their running back is in alignment, they could very easily do that. Okay, they ran a pistol and they'll be pretty predictable here come week 2 or 3. These guys are like UT, like skip pulling on the backside, which I'm not the biggest fan. Go watch UT's run game if you see why. If you ask me why, right? There's a reason they don't run the ball very well at UT. Same pop play from earlier. Okay, a little bit different, but same trap pass, full slide it over. Should never get beat away from Help 56. Once again, they're manning it. Back here, should be, full slide. I mean, it should be all full slide. With a true 4-eye or 4, he can just kind of lock it knowing he's getting help back there. Okay, you should never ever get beat away from help as a center on this play. Same thing once again, okay? We're going to just get a wrap. Watch this sucker run here, whoever this kid is. Same thing. They're just going to kind of try to wear you out to the C-gap area. C-D gap area on all these gap schemes. We're putting 2 in a gap. Okay, bad defense. We have 2 in a gap in this 4-eye front back here. Offensively, we should win here. Now, really tough angle here on this combo block. Not my favorite. Right, this guy should beat this guy on a sort of pull scheme over the top. I just want to showcase this guy freaking running. And that poor safety, whoever it is, that poor corner gets worn out with a kick out here. Gave it a nice job by 13 holding up in the C gap here. Like I said, you have to have something in the C gap against these guys. It's not a Tennessee game until you get a pop pass for a touchdown. Right, these guys are the best I've seen at doing it. Different runs, different actions, all sorts of things. Okay, but they will. As soon as you get in the red zone, you better be alert. The Titans aren't going to catch the ball in open field. Right, but down here, they will absolutely catch a pop pass. All right, so this would be really easy in high school. Okay, you'll probably lose eye, especially like a split zone action. You probably want him to sell it for half a second more, 87 if you could. Okay, these secondary guys are tired of being in the run fits. They want to get down there. Then easy just a little pop over the top. Right, as soon as you stop getting worn out to the nub side, okay, they're going to counter back the other way. Clean look at it. Okay, we're acing to 2. We're going to manhandle a 4-eye with this beast at left tackle. We're cutting off the 4-eye. Okay, we're C-gap sealing with the tight end. We're kick out, we're wrap up. Okay, we're sealing it one way. We're kicking out the other. Now I'm putting my running back and my wrapper into the hole. Oh, that is close to popping, man. Offensively, if you make a safety come all the way back across to make the tackle, good on him if he makes it. Like I said, these guys have always done a great job in the run game. Thought this was a good idea defensively. Okay, you're getting worn out both sides. Say, F it. Something that's really weird about these guys is the running back tendencies are super high, which should not be the case based off location of running back. As far as like how tight they are, they could very easily do same side runs. For some reason, this game they didn't, and so you can kind of play games off the back. Like at UNC and other places I've been, our running back was really wide, and so it was really hard to do same side runs. But based off running back location pre-snap, it'd be really easy to do same side. So something to look forward to, see how they develop that kind of package. But talk about defensively, this is a good stopper call. Okay, the run through with the twist. Okay, running this thing to the back. Or you're hoping to get the twist guy free, or they're running through guy free in here. I think they get both of them. Yeah, so this is like a great, if you're playing these guys, a fantastic call. That was really, really good pressure against them based off back location. That'd be really, really hard to stop, right? Because you come off, and everybody's now really, really flat coming off to take this, and then he should be free. I talked about this, maybe I tweeted this. how like picking up protection or twists, in my opinion, especially in the pass game, I haven't studied a ton the run game. But if the offense and the defense both do their job on a pick twist, the defense should win. Same thing with like a passing concept. Like if I'm running like pick rail with the receivers, if both sides do this job, the picking side should win. So same thing here defensively, right? So like if you do a pick twist really well, Wake Forest used to be discussing a torch. They would torch the piss out of us. If both sides do their job, the picking side should win. Right. So good look at that. I think that's the last one. So fun to watch this offense. I did not anticipate them having the answers. Right. I thought the coach speak stuff in the spring, how we'll have more answers and all that stuff was just coach speak. So I'm really high on this team now. I think if the defense is anywhere close to where it was last year, this team is a team to watch for. They finally have the pieces. They have some schematic answers now. I'd be really excited to see what they do the rest of the season.